Hey everyone, this is episode 0 of our Regen podcast. I'm Jeremy and I'm also with my older brother Hans,
Hey guys.
Joanne,
guys.
and Vivienne.
Hello.
We're part of the Regen community and we'll be your cast for this season. So, introduce myself. I'm Jeremy, I'm 15, I'm in year 10 now, and I like music. I play the piano, I play the flute, and I sing. And I also like camera things. So like a lot of videos you see on the Regen, I'm behind the camera.
So
Yeah,
you're like the camera video guy for Regen.
Yeah, that's a bit about me.
Okay.
So, hi guys, I'm Joanne and I'm 14 years old. I'm in year 9 this year and my favorite subject in school is Japanese and English when it's not too hard. And apart from writing in Regen, I like bullet journaling, calligraphy, and dance.
Okay, I'm Viv. I'm in year 12, graduating this year. I'm 17. I like art stuff, making stuff. I've started crocheting. My favorite subjects at school, I guess, maths and art. And so hopefully in uni, I want to pursue architecture if I get in.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Hans and I'm 17 as well, but I just graduated from school, so I'm going to uni. I'm a bit old. Well, not really. I just feel that way.
Calling me old as
No,
well?
no. Okay. Okay, back to the introduction. So, you'll get to know a bit about me from what I chose to do in uni. So I'm doing two very different things. The first is conducting. And yes, if you've read my Regen bio, I still dream of conducting an orchestra one day. That's like 100% genuine. Okay, so and then the second thing is I'm studying physics and I'm really into like academic research, like nerd things.
You don't know how hard is it to be his brother when he says random physics jokes. But
Yes, random. Do you want me to tell you some now?
no,
No.
Okay, anyway, so this podcast is about us, right? Regeneration Z. So, I guess a little bit about Regeneration Z. We started as a movement about just over a year ago. And the story goes like, it was like we had a church camp at our church. And, hint, church camp, not church camp, retreat camp. Anyway, keep updated. Info is coming soon. I guess the burden that God planted in our hearts as teens together is that, you know, when we look around at our generation and like look around the people around us, Gen Zs, which is our generation, if you didn't know, like people born from like mid 1990s to like early 2010s, sort of that age. So I think one thing that lacks is that we see, I mean, there's a lack of true dedication to follow Christ, like all out and to live for Christ and not just to have like Christianity as a religion that we put on the side or something because like our parents do it or just because like it's I don't know something that we feel like we need to have religion, but like people who actually follow Christ and actually know what it means to follow Christ and have that as their whole worldview and have that as everything in their lives. This is like a lack of that in our generation. And like if we just look around, firstly there's that, right? There's a lack of depth in Christianity. The other thing is there's also just a lack of people interested in Christianity nowadays. It's like not common to find teens who follow Jesus wholeheartedly because out there it's like all secular and you know like how many of our friends would confess that they're actually atheists. And so there's a deep problem concerning faith and true deep faith about so that's what our movement is about.
So Regeneration Z, the R meaning first we're reformed. So if you like see the world now, like especially in Christianity, there's a lack of like going back to the Bible. So reformed meaning we're going back to the Bible, following the Bible based footsteps of like the past reformers in the 16th century. So as Christians, we often take like Christian values and like stick them onto our lives. Like say you look at it on Instagram, you post it on Instagram, or like you wear a cross necklace, but like that doesn't really mean you're truly like you believe in Christ. And so we're thinking past these expectations, past these like cliche notions of what Christianity is.
Yeah, and second, the E in Regeneration Z stands for evangelical, and that means we're here to spread the gospel. And you look around in our generation, many teens are unreached and they've never heard this kind of holistic gospel that transforms their lives. And Jesus gave his disciples the Great Commission, and so we're here as teens to obey that. Making this podcast, we hope that we can reach out to more teens, and all, of course, by God's grace and mercy.
So that gives us R, E, and Generation Z. So Regeneration Z, like our prayer is to witness God's mighty work here exactly where we are. Like in our schools, in like youth groups and like our friend groups. And I don't know, if you play basketball, you can play with your basketball team and dance studios or anything, everything, all the people around you. And so we can see a regeneration in the broken souls of teens that can be won all out for Christ.
Yeah, so basically, I guess the purpose of this podcast is that by God's grace, we want to try and show, like, because we're also teens, that being a Christian is not something that's just like, yeah, I stick this on and then I just live however I want. But like, when you become a Christian, you obey Christ, you believe in Him, then you follow Him wholeheartedly and your whole life is transformed. Everything is changed because, like, it changes us from a direction of life that was for ourselves, and now it's being transformed that we have a life, a purpose for God. And that changes all aspects of our lives, the way we think, what we do, the way we approach like our studies, our school, our friends, and the list just goes on. And so we're trying to, I guess, as we discuss, we hope that you guys can get a taste, I guess, and by God's grace, that He can work and show all of us what it means to be called out of the world, out of our sin, and to be lived, and to live a holy life, to be able to serve Him, and ultimately to bring glory to Him in all that we do. And I guess the other thing that we also want to try and show is that, Christianity is not something that's like rigid. It's not just like a religion that you can't do this, you can't do that, and it just puts a lot of laws on your life. It's not that. Like our religion is something that's liberating. It's freeing because in it actually we can find our truest joy and contentment. And I guess we want to be able to share that as members of the Regen Committee, the life that we've experienced. That it's actually truly the best life that we can have as teens, to be able to follow Christ from a young age, to live all out for Christ.
So basically, we thought in like, I guess teens, we have a lot of questions that we don't speak about, especially about Christianity. Like, there's all these rules and expectations. We have to be all holy and whatever. But we've chosen questions or topics. So school, friends, church, and like your personal life, I guess.
So this podcast is going to be based on questions. And later, you guys who are listeners, welcome to the Regen fam. You can you can post your questions. We'll have a place where you can post your questions. I still don't know where.
On our website.
On our website? Yeah.
Regeneration
Z.org. Yeah. So on our website, you guys can post questions as well. So we've come up with a few kind of questions get started, such as
Like procrastination and cramming. Like, when should I actually start caring about my grades? Is it when I go into year 11 or year 12? Should I care in my junior years?
Or like if my parents are too strict, as in like if I have a tiger mom, what do I do?
yeah, and even things like non-Christian friends, like how do we speak to our friends that have completely different worldview, and what do we say, and like the struggles also about being a Christian. And then like our friends say, oh, we don't hang out with them, or we don't view the world their way, and those kind of issues that are hard, social topics, things like that.
Also, more personal aspect, like should I go on a diet? I guess like with social media as well, the expectations we have on us are really strong. So things like, should I go on a diet? Should I go to the gym? You might not
Yeah.
talk about it with your friends, but we're going to talk about it here.
Yeah.
Yes, all open. Even more like things like guy and girl relationships. Like, what are actually the
Friendships.
boundaries? Friendships. Yeah, like we'll talk about those juicy things later.
Juicy.
And since we have two brothers here, we have another topic, sibling relationships.
Yeah, let's just hope there's no fights on this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, like siblings, like they get annoying sometimes. Sorry, Jeremy.
Oh, wow.
But like, how do we deal with those things and like, yeah.
Yeah, and like technology. Obviously, now our generation, we're all like on our phones, on our laptops, iPads. Our average screen time is going out of hand,
Up and up.
up and up.
Especially with lockdown
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
Oh.
Lockdown, also like the online world, I guess we're all very deep. I don't know about you guys, maybe it's just
wow.
me. But like I guess your presence online might be.
Like a virtual you. Is it actually you?
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess following like the body image, influence of media, how that influences your mind. And I guess not just social media, but the things you look at or watch, like movies, songs, like even though it might not feel like it, they all like do affect you. As cliche as it is.
As well, like ministry and stuff. Like maybe not all teens do ministry, but like sometimes, like some of us, we have a lot of responsibilities in the church as well as school and basically everything. And like, how do we balance that? And how do we like still have a social life with our friends, but we're not like all into church? But like, yeah, things like that.
Yeah, and like other things such as like how do we respond to our culture that's changing around the world? Because like things like the media and like TVs, they actually influence the way we think a lot. And then also like for us, like some of us like in Australia, we're very multicultural. So we're based in Australia, by the way, if you're listening from overseas. There's a like we have people who are from Asian backgrounds, from like British backgrounds, from I don't know, American backgrounds, backgrounds from around the whole world. But like we bring our culture and then we come here and then we kind of mingle together and we make like I don't know, a salad of like Australian culture.
Salad.
Salad.
Yeah. Anyway, my weird imagery. There we go. But yeah, all our culture gets mixed. Like, should we actually hold on to like the culture from like our parents, or is it okay to get like make our own new culture? These kind of things also.
Yeah, so we're also going to be talking about like social issues, say like abortion, LGBT, modern slavery, or world poverty. And I guess it's not just going to be our perspectives on the issues, but also like how we link our lives to the Bible and how the Bible is holistic, that it shapes our whole opinion on all of these issues. So basically, the Christian worldview in contrast to worldly views.
And like, we'll also be talking about like God and science, as in like, is science the truth or is God the truth?
Yeah, I guess that's actually quite true because like a lot of time in our culture it's a secular culture, and even though we might have been brought up Christian, or you might even be listening to this podcast and not really care about Christianity at all, but the thing is like we want to show that um God is real and it's something that he works and he has answers to everything. It's not just a myth, like that's what people think, but there's actually answers when we go down deep into the Bible. And so to wrap up, I guess the introduction, episode 0, this whole podcast series, this first season, it's going to be about, I guess, approaching our doubts about God and approaching like our rigid views about Christianity and showing how it's actually holistic, how God has a plan for us and he's our creator, and that when we find that plan, that it will actually link up with our hearts and we know that we're living the right life and that he gives us the true joy and the true contentment. And we also find that we have a purpose, we have an identity, like facing even the mental health crisis in our generation, how we've lost our identity. We don't know what we're going to do, what we're going to grow up to be, and we're insecure, we're anxious, facing all those things, knowing that God actually has a plan for us, and that's a perfect plan, a good plan, and that when we follow that plan, that our life fits into place holistically.
So yeah, I mean that kind of wraps up our introduction, and well, stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe.
Yes, we'll
Yes.
see you in the first episode.
Yeah, our episodes will come out once every 2 weeks.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Probably. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram at regeneration_Z.
And follow up on our website, which we have articles posted every week on Mondays, and
Videos and other interesting content.
And daily devotions written by our very own Hans.
sibling, my brother. But
Yes, join the mailing list. I don't know if anyone does that anymore, but we have a mailing list. Anyway, the website is regenerationz.org, regenerationz.org for those who can't spell.
oh,
Anyways, yeah, so that's it for this introduction.
catch you guys later.
Bye.
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 What was that?